You want to grow. Then why are you still making excuses? Why are you still trying to explain yourself to a world that doesn't care? Why are you still begging life to be gentle with you? If you want real growth, start by getting quiet. Stop talking. Stop venting. Stop pleading for life to go easy on you. No more explanations. No more complaints. No more waiting for someone else to understand. Just be still and suffer, because that's where it begins. True change doesn't start with applause or affirmation. It starts in the silence that screams. When your mind is loud, but there's no one left to listen but yourself. You think growth comes from books, from motivation, from someone saying, "You got this?" Here's the truth, the raw, uncomfortable truth. Growth comes when you sit in your pain and don't run. When the noise fades and all that remains is the weight of who you are and who you're not. That silence is where the war begins. And if you're not ready to go to war in silence, you're not ready to grow. Because growth doesn't arrive with a trumpet. It doesn't wait for the perfect time. It comes when you're shattered, when you've failed. When you've been left behind, and in that emptiness, it dares you, get up or stay down. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, once the most powerful man on earth, never preached about glory. He spoke about discipline, about being steady, about showing up in pain. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He didn't say yell at the world until it listens. He said realize, go inward, find strength in stillness. That's what the weak never do. They talk, they explain, they distract themselves from pain. But you're not here for comfort. You're here to evolve. And evolution demands one thing above all: silence and suffering. Not suffering for its own sake, but the kind that humbles your ego, that kills your illusions, that forces you to become who you were too scared to be when life was easy. There is a pain that breaks you and a pain that remakes. Stoicism never said to be emotionless. It said, feel everything, but stay unmoved. That is strength. That is maturity. That is power. Epictetus, born into slavery, shackled by hardship, once said something most free men today wouldn't dare whisper: if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, suffer the silence of being misunderstood. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Let them walk away. You get quiet and work, bleed, endure, and through that, something unshakable is born. Because we live in a world that worships expression. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, your silence is what sets you apart. Everyone wants to speak. Everyone wants to share. Everyone wants to be seen and validated. But the truth is, the strongest men and women you'll ever meet have all learned one thing. They've learned how to be silent, how to carry their suffering with grace, how to sit in discomfort without begging the world to rescue them. They trained themselves not to flinch, not to react, not to collapse under pressure. And that training, it doesn't happen in public. It happens in the dark, in lonely rooms, at 3 a.m. when your soul is in pieces and there's no one left to hold you, just you and the silence. And that silence, it's the forge. That's where warriors are made. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." But that strength doesn't come from reading the quote once and moving on. It comes from living it, from walking through hell and refusing to beg for an exit, from being quiet enough to hear your soul whisper, "You're not done yet, stand up again." That's what most people never do. They never get quiet enough to hear that voice. Their minds are too loud, full of excuses, full of noise, full of pity. They don't want the truth, they want relief. But growth doesn't live in relief, it lives in responsibility. And responsibility starts the moment you realize this: no one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not the one you lost, not the life you think you deserved. Only you. You become the one who saves yourself, not by shouting for help, but by enduring the silence long enough to hear what pain is trying to teach you. Because pain always has a message. It's trying to shape you, to refine you, to destroy the weaker parts of you. But if you keep interrupting the process, if you keep talking over it, hiding from it, numbing it, you stay the same, you stay small. You don't become disciplined, you become distracted. And distraction is the enemy of greatness. You already know this. You don't need another quote. You don't need another voice telling you you're enough. You need truth. You need to suffer quietly, willingly, and then you rise quietly, unshakably. That's Stoicism. It's not cold. It's not distant. It's powerful, focused, steady. It says you don't control the storm, but you control how you stand in it. So when the world gets loud, you go quiet. When life hurts, you don't complain. You endure. When plans fall apart, you don't beg. You adapt. That's the Stoic way. It's about making peace with one painful truth. You are not owed anything. Once you stop expecting the world to owe you something, you're left with one truth. It's just you, not anyone else, not your circumstances. Just you and the power you either build or ignore. You're promised nothing, but you're capable of everything if you're willing to suffer for it. And I don't want you to just nod and agree. I don't want you to say, yeah, that makes sense. I want you to sit with it, feel the full weight of your responsibility. Because that weight, that's what most people spend their lives running from. They blame others, they look for escape, they wait for someone to come save them. But the moment you take full ownership of your pain, that pain becomes your power. You are not broken. You are being built. Every loss, every betrayal, every silent night filled with doubt, it's not punishment, it's preparation. But only if you're quiet enough to see it, only if you're strong enough to bear it, only if you stop trying to be seen and start allowing yourself to be forged. You want strength, then suffer. You want wisdom? Shut up and listen to life. You want peace? Let the noise inside you die and face what you've been avoiding. Because growth isn't gentle. It's not kind. It's violent. It breaks you. It bends you. It rips out every part of you that was never meant to stay. And then it leaves you standing in front of the mirror with nothing left except the truth. And the truth is, you were never weak. You were just comfortable. Comfort blinded you. It kept you soft. It kept you dependent. It kept you safe, but it kept you small. But now, the comfort is gone, and you are exactly where you need to be. So suffer. Suffer in silence. And trust that this pain isn't here to destroy you. It's here to carve out space for your power to live.